A.
Piss take
Production.
Welcome to a Piss Take production episode. This video I'm going to cover the topic of a GPS, Android and Apple CarPlay unit for your motorcycle. Now the market is being flooded with all these types of devices, and the cool thing is the technology is rapidly changing with upgraded units pretty much every few weeks to months. So after the successful Autocast video, I've had a company called GreenYi reach out and ask me to review their product. Now you can find their website, it's called greenyidirect.com. They sell a mix of products. The interesting thing about their products, their cameras actually tied in with Sony technology. They sell a 5-inch motorcycle DVR with wireless Apple and Android CarPlay. Now there's 3 choices on the website. There's the 5-inch monitor just by itself. The B option is the monitor with front and rear cameras. They say it's got 2K real-time shooting effect, and they say it's got 2K pre-record and 1080p with Sony high-end lenses used in the cameras. For the C option, there's the monitor with the front and rear cameras and tyre pressure sensors. So that's a pretty neat feature if you want to upgrade your bike and have extra technology. There is also an option to purchase with a 128GB SD card. But if you want any more information, yeah, go to greenyidirect.com. I'll have the information in the description box. Let's just have a look what we've got. So it's they call it a dash cam wireless touchscreen interface with cell phone connectivity for motorcycles. The CPU is an ARM Cortex A7, DDR3 CPU, screen protection and dual cameras. Straight out of the bat, here's the device, neatly packaged, and a cable holding it in. So there you go, you've got the power supply and front and rear camera connection. So that's the bottom. Underneath here you'll find the micro SD slot and a power supply. Okay. Components, some sticky pads for the cameras, zip ties and bracket. Okay. So this is your power cable, and that's the same as last time. So very simple to connect up, straight to your battery for your negative and positive, and has a built-in fuse. Okay, here's your camera cables. Okay, here's the cameras. Well, here's one of the cameras. See, Sony 322, that's pretty cool. Another camera, your bracket, top sun hood. I'll find out what these front and rear dials are. And a USB power supply. So if you don't want to wire into your battery, you can just run the unit via USB port on your bike. That's a pretty good option. I say thank you, and a user manual which we'll go through. Okay, so I hope those 2 units, they could be tyre pressure units that maybe just go on the valve, front and rear. That's pretty cool. Okay. The power supply, I'm just going to connect the power supply up and give you an example of the menu and start up. Okay. Great thing, this thing's color coded and really easy to work out what you need to do. So I've already got the USB plugged in. Let's line this up and connect it. Turn the power on. Now, there you go, it says welcome. It's already started recording, so that might be a built-in feature for every time you start your bike. Now, we'll see if we can pause that for a sec. So what's this? That's the camera. Let's press okay, we'll just stop that for a sec. Now they might have already supplied a 128GB card. Let's have a look. Is that what we'll do? Let's step it up a notch. Let's connect a camera and see what happens. Flat. Oh, look at that. It's already reading the tyre sensors. Oh, that's cool. It now does have a protective cover on the lens. So full HD, that's what it's saying. Hello world. Now that's pretty cool. Now how do we go back? And yeah, we don't need to worry about the tyre pressure. Let's go back to, so resolution, you've got the choice of, there's 4K. Now if you're a YouTuber, this might be a really good option to be able to record footage. Okay, you don't need to keep telling me that because they're not plugged in. What else we've got? So we've upped the resolution, recording settings, on. Now I'll have to find out if it does continuous recording, and then once the card's full, if it overrides the previous recording for the next trip. So that's another thing that I'll have to test. And connect it to my phone. Settings, Bluetooth, not connected. Now this device is called MT69C. There we go, found it on my phone. And then we allow it to pair, and access to contacts and call logs pair. It's connecting still. In use. So let's go back home. Android Auto. Change to Android Auto mode for confirm. If you use an Apple phone, it'll be probably pre-selected for Apple. Android Auto. Now let's test if there's speakers, if the sound comes through these speakers, if there's built-in speakers. So that's playing from the phone. So this is the Waze app. There's Spotify. So everything that you're used to, what you see with Android CarPlay is available. There's your phone. Home. I want to go back and just select, there we go. Okay, the tyre pressure, you can leave me alone. Where's Google Maps? Won't show my address. Okay, so that's great. Let's exit out and check the panel. What's on the panel? So that's cool. So that gives you a tacho option. So that'd be interesting to see when we test ride. Okay, that's the gist of the menu. we'll go ahead and install this on the bike and we'll go from there. Is attached like this. It's probably best to get on the screwdriver first. That's one. Okay, that's the hood on. It's a neat looking unit. This bracket will get fixed first, like that, and then we'll go on like that, or you could do it, depends, yeah, that bolt, okay, that nut goes there, so this little black nut goes there, so there's a black bolt that drops in through like that. Then with your Allen key, and connects like that. Thumb tight's enough. Next thing, I'm just going to fix this bracket to the rear of the unit. Just as a precautionary measure, I'm just going to add some Loctite. So it's pretty simple installation. Just thumb tight. The Loctite will do the rest of the work. The next step, I'll put the device onto the motorcycle with this bracket. I've already got the bracket installed for the lower. And just to make my life easier, I've just detached the screen. And before I tighten it up, I just have to get the angle right. So that screen's there. And I want it about that position. It's pretty close. Yep, that's pretty good. Okay. As you can see, it'd be difficult to steal with the screen in position. Okay, the power cable and front and rear camera. Just going to feed the cables behind the bar. Now it's a different case for you guys that run the unit off the handlebars, but for all adventure bikes we take advantage of this mounting point. So camera, I might run the front facing camera this way, and power will go here and rear camera will go that way. I'm just going to show you how to mount these brackets. So that just clips on like that. Now just be mindful that that dot will either indicate the top of the lens or the bottom, and you might have to rotate once it's in position, once we turn the camera on. So here's the plastic mount that goes on there like that. There's a little silver nut that goes into position there. Feed the bolt through and tighten it on. Just be mindful that you might need to just have it angled, pointing down a little bit, and don't do it up too tight. You just want to, actually we'll back that off. If that's the top, that's how you want it to sit. If not, we'll sort it out later on. Okay. Next, you want to get a sticker pad. We'll just go the clear side. And line it up with the holes, and that's on there like that. The next stage, we want to tape that to the underside of the front. The cool thing about the Suzuki VStrom, there's a little panel underneath here that you can fix the camera to. So just clean the surface prior to sticking the camera on. Okay, just peel that sticker off. I'm going to mount this camera here. Okay, perfect spot for a camera. We'll just give it a few minutes and hold it on. I'm just going to feed this cable up through the neck of the bike. Hopefully it's long enough. Okay, with the camera cable, we can now connect that up. And now we'll test it and make sure it works. Okay, that's successful. I'll turn that off and now put the rear camera in. So the location I'm going to go with for the rear camera is going to be under the top box plate. So just clean that down and let it dry, ready to fix. Okay. Now, depending on your motorcycle, you're going to have to find a gap with the rear panels and feed it through. So make sure you get the extended cable for the camera and feed the female side through. I found on the VStrom, I found one point that I can get out, and then I want to run the cable, and then the best option will be to run it up under the frame. Give me a look. And the neat option, I'll zip tie it to the frame underneath. I'll connect that up for now. Okay, that's connected. As a precaution, you might want to tape that up with some electrical tape. Now this camera cable has to be run under the seat frame. You'll have to remove some of the panels on the left hand side of the bike. So that's just the tedious job. And we'll follow where the power lead goes. So here's the power lead for the unit. That there just runs. You've got the positive and negative here. That sits there. And this is going to be interesting. Just enough space for that male plug to go through that gap. Okay, we'll go back later and zip tie those cables that run together parallel to the unit. Okay, that's where you go. Up over that. Just get your hand in up behind this panel and you'll find a gap and it runs. Once you get your cable all the way through, there's going to be a little bit of excess. That's okay. Let's connect up the rear camera. Now we'll just test and make sure that that works. Okay, let's select the camera. Front one's working and it's front. It just wants to connect to my phone, so I'll just give it a second. Okay, cameras. Yes. So that's the rear camera and front facing camera. Stop recording. Okay, so we'll go ahead and tidy the cables up and go from there. With the camera cable, just zip tie it. Just tidy it up and zip tie it together. I might go this way first. Down the middle of it. And then what I'll do, I'll get another one and hang it off a cable, so that means it just won't go anywhere. And just clip those ends and then you go, that's neatly packed away. The last item that I've got to put on the bike are the tyre pressure sensors, and they just go on the valves and they're clearly indicated, F for front and R for rear, so we'll get those on and installed. To set your tyre pressure, just go into your settings, then the pressure for menu. I've set it to PSI and Celsius for the temperature. The front is reading currently at 40 PSI and the rear at 43. Now to set it up, you've got to have the sensors off the bike and then press the bind button, press confirm, and once you confirm, so yeah, the front will flash, install the tyre pressure, then the rear will flash and then install the rear tyre pressure sensor. and then it'll be calibrated, and now you're up and running. Now they're saying that this unit's 800 nits with brightness. It's on par. It's a very bright day at the moment. It's on par with the VStrom tacho for brightness. Settings. Is there any in here? No. So there you go. That's the front camera, which looks pretty clear. And to switch, we'll go to the rear camera. That's pretty cool. Now I do have the top box bracket just a little bit showing, but that doesn't interfere with the picture, so that's alright. So if we go back to the front, and it says it's recording 29 seconds. Let's go home. And here's the other panel for your tyre pressure. It's called the tyre pressure gauge. I'll leave it on that for a second and give it a go. We'll go for a ride and see what it does. I'm interested to see the kilometer reading turn up. Okay, it turns on 31 and 45. That's how. So it's reading 60. It's a little bit of a difference. 52 k's an hour, 56, 55. So it's about 10 k's out. Now I'm just going to change the setting. It's not going to like these gloves. Android Auto. I'm going to be quick and just say I've run out of time making this video. That's the GreenYi unit with the Sony cameras, and I guess the added bonus with the tyre pressure being on the bikes, it's a good addition. I can't fault that. There's not much more I can say about this unit. It works well. That concludes the installation and semi-review of the GreenYi motorcycle display unit. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next video.